Son of a bitch. I just recorded that whole thing and it didn't save the video. So I'm going to do it again. Oh, for the love of 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, Commanders, for another Arcfall video. This month, Update 69 and the ever-anticipated special crossover into Galaxy Quest. And with it, Galaxy Invasion. So buckle up and be sure to leave your comments and your questions down below. Let's punch it. First this month, we will introduce this month's officers, which do come from the iconic 1999 Star Trek parody film entitled Galaxy Quest. There are 4 officers this month, 2 rare and 2 epic. The first rare is Alexander Dane, played by our beloved late Alan Rickman. He has 2 pretty strong abilities, his first being his officer ability, increasing the loot gained from defeating mirror universe hostiles. I think it's important to note as we go along with the content here is that this entire arc is built around supporting the mirror universe, not Galaxy Invasion. Stick that in your cap and we're going to circle back around to it. However, his loot gain in Mirror Universe Hostiles is great for G4 and G5 players, maybe early G5. This ability is not going to serve any purpose to late G5 and G6 players because loot gain does not affect the hostile drop chest. However, his below deck ability absolutely has a place for those G5 and G6 players, giving a substantial boost to impulse speed if you're hitting with a speed crew for the increased loot chest. So all around a great officer with something to offer to everyone playing in the Mirror Universe. The next rare is Laliari, who has an officer ability that specifically serves the new ship, the NSA Protector, which we will talk about shortly. She will reduce the cooldown of the Omega-13 device ability on the new ship, which I'll tell you about coming up. Her below deck ability is also somewhat interesting. Not great for everyone, but kind of depends on how much Apex Barrier you already have. If you have 0 Apex Barrier, then she's going to do nothing, because she doesn't increase barrier by a static number, but rather by a percentage, starting at 1,000% boost and going up to 5,000% boost, and this is specifically in wave defense. This ability could be massively helpful in wave defense, but only if you have some significant Apex Barrier to start with, and there's not many PvE sources of that in the game so far. For the record, the name of this ability, and Griffin, feel free to put in an actual sound clip. Okay, moving on with dignity intact. Your 2 epics this month. First, Gwen DeMarco. She is a below deck epic, meaning she has no captain's maneuver, but her officer ability is absolutely bonkers, increasing isolated cascade against armadas and the new Chimera hostiles, or the invading entities, or technically the new single ship solo armadas. I'll tell you more about that coming up. This ability starts at 40% cascade and increases to 100% at tier 5. Again, the usefulness of this is going to depend on your current state of your account. I can see this actually being pretty useful for G3 and G4 players for the Armada mechanic, and possibly useful to G4 and G5 for the Chimera effect. The G6 players will probably enjoy the below deck ability, which is increasing PvP isolytic damage if the player has any state, and that will scale from 30% to 80% increase in isolytic damage. Sourcing with Gwen DeMarco is fortunately pretty straightforward. She will have an available path to grind through the new refinery, the new Galaxy Invasion, which we'll talk about here coming up in just a few moments. But this day 1 availability to grind is welcome for this officer. Your other epic this month will be sourced traditionally with solo leaderboards and SMSs, and his name is Jason Nesmith. He has a captain's ability called Never Give Up, decreasing Chimera hostile shield mitigation by 30%, with 15% small synergy and 30% big synergy, basically meaning you could get this thing like 90%, decreasing the shield mitigation, which might end up being nothing. We'll have to do some math testing to find out if it's additive or multiplicative, etc., etc. If you're fighting these new Chimera armadas. His officer ability, Never Surrender, increases Apex Barrier versus hostiles by 2,000 and scales up to 5,000. Now, this officer ability is absolutely massive when you pair him with Laliari below deck. could make for some massive Apex barrier gains in the PvE world. So do make note of that. Now, I've mentioned Chimera hostiles and solo armadas a few times already, so let's talk about this month's new feature. And yes, let the moaning and groaning begin. It's a new loop.
It's a new loop. It's a new loop. It's a new loop.
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
Step 1. Level 25 plus players can kill new Fatu Cray hostiles, get scrap, refine scrap for stuff in the refinery, including new directives for the Chimeras. Chimeras, or invading entities, are a single ship solo armada that take a special new directive and offers everyone who tries against it a reward. If you die, you still get a chest. There is a 10-round limit, which is designed to limit damage against these hostiles that you may not be able to kill, and that's okay. These hostiles are meant to be ganged up on by the entire server. So you'll do 10 rounds of damage, and then 100 other players from your server will also do 10 rounds of damage, if you even last 10 rounds. The timer on this single ship solo armada is only 30 seconds, so once you activate it, you've got 30 seconds to be in the circle. At the end of battle, the whole health that you took away during the battle will stay gone, and the target is there for the next player to tackle. You'll perform these attacks with your best normal warships, not the NSA Protector ship. More on that coming up in a moment. Also, crew will be very, very important, as these are a new enemy type. They are not classified as hostiles nor armadas, so your armada abilities will not work on them. Check your officer abilities carefully. 90% of the officers that have come out since Strange New Worlds will not function against these new targets. You're going to be looking for generic abilities that don't specify hostiles or armadas. And here's looking at you, Lorca, Gorkon, 5 of 11s, Captain's Maneuver as examples, Harry Mudd, also just a winky wink, nudge nudge. So that's step 2. The loot from the chests and the hostiles, if you're fortunate enough to defeat them, will come back to the refinery to exchange for Gwen DeMarco shards, Galactic Acclaim, which is a new favor currency to help with new favors. I'll tell you more about that in a second. Syndicate XP, NSA Protector, upgrade parts, blueprints, mirror dust, and building resources. Yay for new loops! More on the NSA Protector in just a moment, but first I want to knock Galactic Acclaim out of the way. This is a currency that's going to be used to upgrade up to 27 new favors, 9 per faction, Federation, Klingon, and Romulan. These are specifically for hull health and are per warship per grade, G4 through the G6. So that's basically 9 total warships, right? Romulan has 3, G4, G5, G6 equals 9. 9 times 3 factions is 27. So you're not designed to do all of these favors. Use your Galactic Acclaim wisely for the ships that you want to primarily use or plan to use in the near future. Now, circling back to the NSA Protector. This ship is going to do absolutely nothing for the new Galaxy Invasion feature. Instead, it's actually going to support the Mirror Universe, kind of like the officers are doing mostly. So let's back up and take a look at the Mirror Universe. The NSA Protector will have 2 passive abilities to support you in the MU. First, increased damage to Mirror Universe hostiles, and second, increased MU raw trillium mining. It will also have a very high impulse, second to only a Rialta. Yes, that is faster than Voyager, faster than Tally, and an increased warp speed. It's also going to have an absolutely massive cargo at the mid to high tiers and appears to have decent combat abilities. So I'm kind of also maybe thinking that this could be the new kind of Tally 2.0 or Voyager 2.0 when it comes to going around and stealing loot from players as well. This ship is also going to grant you access to a new Mirror Universe expansion with brand new systems that have new hostiles that will drop a new Trillium that can be refined into new mirror dust. Oh, you can't make it up. Also, now, the good thing is that we'll also source existing prime particles in that refinery. Now, my first reaction to this is, okay, lots of new. But a free grindable ship to get free existing primes, I do feel like there's a lot of hoops to jump through. That said, I am on record saying I always want paid content to be available. It doesn't have to necessarily be easy, so I am contractually obligated to praise the fact that primes are going to be sourced with the new MU expansion, but you are going to work your tail off to get them. The new ship also comes with a unique new ability that may help in the Mirror Universe called, yes, you guessed it, the Omega 13 device. This device is an active juice ability that requires you to activate it. This device will revitalize you if you die while the ability is active. So, for example, if you're grinding in the Mirror Universe and you expect you're going to die in the next couple of hostiles, you're going to activate the Omega-13 device, and it will have a timer. That timer will start at 10 minutes, and it can increase with extra research. If you die within that timer, you're going to be brought back to life, revived in the same system with X amount of hull as determined by your research. Basically, extra life in the Mirror Universe and not the risk of losing your cargo if you die and go home. As mentioned before, the Neutralium, not A or D, but whatever letter they go with, the Neutralium will have a refinery that can be refined into new mirror dust as well. You can refine it for the traditional mirror dust, but there will be a new mirror dust for a new Mirror Universe expansion that is exclusive to owning the NSA Protector. These researches will enhance the Omega-13 device, reduce the cost of Rift Key travel, increase your critical damage floor, increase your isolated damage output, increase your cost efficiency on research materials and resources, increase the efficiency on the war room and artifact gallery upgrades, and various ship upgrades, as well as scrapping speed and apex barrier for PvP, as well as opponent, critical damage reduction, and damage outputs, plus a couple of others. Where are you going to find the new Trillium variants? Well, in new Mirror Universe systems. That will be accessible only by the Protector. They will have new Omega Mirror Universe hostiles, new Mirror Universe mines, and new Mirror Universe loot goblins for some extra loot bonuses, as well as hazards for all. This is a new minefield hazard, and only the Protector will be able to survive there, as any other ship will die within seconds. Narratively, I feel like they got this one right, and I'm kind of giggling to myself that finally everyone gets to play in hazards. So that is, you can leave all your hate mail down below. That's the meat and potatoes. There's lots of content here this month, and we're going to be here with you to guide you through all of it, starting on Arcfall Night, unveiling the ship, traveling to the new Mirror Universe systems, and checking out these new hazards. There are 2 new primes this month, one coming for Forbidden Technology efficiency, but for Protomatter, not Catalyst, so might be a miss on that one. The second prime is exclusive to G6 for building speed efficiency, providing a 250% buff. There will be 2 new refits for the Protector, which at least one of looks amazing. I'm not 100% sure on the abilities. We'll have more on that later on in the day, but they did finally launch a refit that I would probably just buy for the looks. It makes your Protector look like Ceres' ship, and it looks incredible. Hopefully Griffin has an image. And the best news about this particular refit is that it is also grindable in the Mirror Universe refinery if you want it. So you've got the Gwen DeMarco and now the refit and all this stuff. So decent grindable items here. Now, moving towards events, we have a little bit more to talk about later in the month. But I did tease a few days ago that a new Battle Pass was going to pay up more than double last month's Battle Pass, and I said it would look different. I also said some folks may be fussy about it, because that's normal, but that's also because there are 2 Battle Passes this month, and you could spend $40 instead of $20. Each will have the same 20 milestones with increased payouts, but each of them will still have a free track. The points have been scaled in such a way that each Battle Pass will be completable in 11 days and will last 13 days, meaning you could free-to-play both Battle Passes in the month of August and get 2 free tracks of stuff. The first Battle Pass will have Alexander Dane shards. The second Battle Pass will have Laliari shards. They will both have decent numbers of Jason Nesmith shards. So essentially, in 22 days, you could have twice as much Battle Pass rewards as you normally would have had in a 20-day Battle Pass for the same engagement. There are going to be other events that we'll talk to you about later on in the month, including one kind of special scavenger hunt with clues that will be scattered both in and out of the game. More info coming on that soon. So, guys, this was a long one, and there's a lot of content jammed into this month. Is it a crossover, or is it a permanent fixture in the game with non-Star Trek content? On Call Doc mentioned to me the other day that the entire game is essentially a crossover between Kelvin and Prime and canon and non-canon, so what's really the difference here? I also did say here a few weeks ago that I would narratively give a pass to Scopely if the Galaxy Quest content helped the utility with my game. While I do loathe a new loop, I think that it does potentially offer quality to some players, including free primes, a better MU experience, better mining capabilities, a free epic officer, a free epic ship, and the Omega 13 device ability. Whether this arc is for you or not remains to be seen, but I am interested in trying it, even if the new loop makes me want to gag. How do you feel? Leave your questions and comments down below. We'll do our best to answer those as quickly as we can. For Griffin and myself and the entire Talking Trek team, thank you for consuming our content today. Please do leave all questions, comments. We'll answer them as best we can throughout the day. Share with your team, subscribe to the channel, click on the little bell so you know when we do other comment, and leave us a thumbs up if you like the content contained within this video. My name is UltimatDJz, your friendly neighborhood cat person saying meow for now. Never give up, never surrender. We'll catch you on the next one, folks.